my birthday, so come hang out with me for my birthday. It's like the week before, but you know, when you're my age, you just take it whenever. You good? Alrighty, next guy, it's been cool getting to see him progress, and looking forward to what he's got tonight. Always has something new. Zach Hunt.
Keep it going for Brent. That gives me enough time to untangle this cord. So you guys, there's a movie that they're remaking that it doesn't need to be remade. It's just being done to pander to an audience. It's not Little Mermaid. I want to be clear about that. I give a fuck less about the color of fish pussy. It's still fish pussy. The movie I'm talking about is Hellraiser. Like, we all love Pinhead, right?
I just saw it last night. The new one is great.
It is?
Yeah.
I mean, but did they really need to make it a woman? Like, I'm all for it for one reason. I've always wanted to call women Pinhead without any, like, repercussion. This is a chance.
She's more androgynous than you would imagine.
Well, I mean, but he was kind of too,
The
like...
original novel, they didn't really have the male or...
But it's like, I wonder if they're going to start doing that with every horror movie now. Like, are we going to have, like, Michelle Myers? Doesn't stop the babysitter, but Facebook stalks the boyfriend. Like, and Frederick Krueger, like, maybe it's Fredina Krueger now. I noticed you didn't dream about me last night. And you know, serial killers are pretty hot right now, especially Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, he got me in trouble. Like, imagine that. Like, I posted a joke about Jeffrey Dahmer that now I'm 26 days still not getting paid anymore on Facebook for this joke. But I'm gonna tell it so you can hear it because Facebook's not gonna let you see it. Yeah, fuck him. Like, just like every boss I've had. Fuck him. Like, all right. But I said Jeffrey Dahmer didn't do a meet cute. He thought meet cute. M-E-A-T. And you know, we always hear about the one that got away, right? The one that got him caught. But you don't hear about the little Asian boy that almost got him caught. Like, he was naked, had a hole in his head, and they're like, this is Jeffrey's lover, get out of here, you little rascal. But folks, that was a perfect opportunity to stop Asian 8. Because he ended up eating. Like, one thing I will say about Jeffrey Dahmer, hands down, that dude loved to bone. And before him, it was Ted Bundy, right? Did you guys know Ted Bundy used to work at Suicide Hotline? Which is really fucking weird because he fucked dead women. So it's like you're really cutting your market there. But maybe the women he ended up killing and fucking were the ones calling in. Maybe he was the Dr. Kevorkian of Porkin. Possible. You know, I do Grubhub and I had to go to Burger King earlier today. And like, you know what titty money is, right? I'm like, oh, let me pull this sweaty 20 on my tits. Like, I've received several titty money working registers for a year. I saw a new one. The lady working behind pulled a pocket knife out of her bra. And she was like 60. I'm like, well, that might work. I mean, given the nature of like robberies now, like it's cool. Like, what if a guy just breaks in and is like, all right, bitch, give me all your money. And she goes, all right, pulls it out, have it your way. Because she works at Burger King. And we all know the archetype of like the old racists, they're like bigoted fathers, like, you're not going to date no black guy, or I'll be damned if my son's gay. But I don't think, like, for the large part, that guy exists anymore. He's at least evolved into something else, right? Like, anymore, it'd be more like, the son walks in, he's like, Dad, I want to tell you something. He's like, go ahead, son. He's like, I think I'm pansexual. He's like, you stay the fuck out of the kitchen. Or maybe, like, the daughter's like, Dad, do you care if if Ben comes over tonight? He's like, sure. He's like, all right, who's Ben? Oh, that's my girlfriend. All right, wait. Like, kind of weird. And then, like, maybe... Finally, the boyfriend shows up, right? He's like, all right, it's the last straw. You're cutting that shit off. He's like, Dad, that's very intolerant. He goes, I don't care. Buns belong in a man's bed and not on a man's head. I guess very intolerant. And you know, you guys ever do anything weird when you were little? Like you had like some kind of weird kick you did? Like you thought you were a superhero? Maybe you like to play with dolls or something? Mine was a little odd. Like I put my dick in things. Like, it didn't matter what it was. Like, you leave the VCR remote down, I'm dicking it down. Peanut butter and jelly in my belly. But like I found out, I don't do it anymore. I want to be clear about that. I don't do it still. Wouldn't be here if I did. That sounds like more fun. But my uncle apparently did it too. This is a little more isolated though, because he only put his dick inside of me. It was rough. It was back then too. One more. I'm really trying to remember what the fuck it was too. Have we ever talked about getting raped? You know, like rape's not funny. Either. Like I want to be clear about that. We're all Joshua, but rape's not fun. And I don't think anybody would ever be like, "Yeah, rape's my thing." Like pro rape, you would never hear that, right? Because like, what the fuck would that mean? Somebody's in favor of it, or somebody's just really, really good at it? And, you know, one show's been bugging the fuck out of me more than any other show lately. The Today Show. I'm assuming you guys have heard of it, right? Like, it's a little different than what it was in the 90s. Like, you hear about some presidential scandal, maybe some war going on. Not today. Like, you turn it on, it's like, hi folks, welcome back. Hot topics sweeping the nation. Contrary to what you've heard before, scientists are saying now you might actually be a Cocker Spaniel and not a Chihuahua as previously thought. Stay tuned after the commercial break, and we'll have the doctor from Kibblewitz University here to weigh in on the subject. And then we'll cut to a commercial break, and you hear some shit that probably should be the fucking news, but somehow it's wedged to a 30-second spot. Did you live in North Carolina from 1920 to 2020? You have AIDS. That's a nice way to know. And then they also talked about the concussion. They're like, well, concussions are actually at 275 last year, but they're down to 186. I'm like, well, that's an odd way of saying there's only going to be 186 people kill themselves and their family in Walmart in 40 years. Because they'll have CTE. And I'll end on this. You guys remember Casey Kasem?
Yeah.
Like, especially like we grew up on the radio, so you heard that like, I am Casey Kasem, and welcome to the top 40 countdown. And it's like, and he kind of died before he had to see like music really take a whole different turn. Like I'm pretty sure like the last thing he's like, and that was Justin Timberlake with Got My Sexy Back. He probably thought that's the size I'm going. Like, what if he carried out today? Like, the countdown would sound totally fucking different. And up 7 spots last week to number 2. That was Kevin Gates with Thinking With My Dick. And before we get to number 1, I have a letter from a listener that says, Dear Casey, my mom's being a real bitch. She took my vape pen, hid my Xanax, and I'm no longer allowed to use the car. Can you send a song out to my little Molly to let her know that Daddy's still thinking of her and wants some of that wet-ass pussy? Sure thing, Kyle. Here's Cardi B's WAP. I mean, it could be fun, though. Yeah, I think I'll end with that. That was good. All right, thank you. We're going to break.
Welcome, Zach Hunt. Said Casey Kasem kind